Hi guys, it's Nicole, and I'm so excited to share with you guys my take on sketch number 1. This is from the 6x6 Sketches for Paper Pads 1-page sketch bundle designed by Allison Davis, sold through Scrapbook Generation. I will have a link down below where you can find that. I'll also link to Allison's YouTube channel. She does an amazing job going into sort of her thought process behind using 6x6 pads in a couple videos on her channel. Last summer I went through the 2-page sketch bundle. This summer I'm doing the 1-page sketch bundle and taking you guys along. I am also participating in a closed Facebook group where I want to say there's probably over 1,000 people that are kind of all playing along and sharing like each individual person's take on these sketches. And I was already looking through the gallery today when I went to put mine in there, and there is so many cool things that people have done with this sketch and kind of how they chose to represent the circles that were on the sketch. And then my favorite part about being involved in like the Facebook group. So for me, when I saw the sketch, I am not a big fan of circles, but my brain kind of went donuts. And every year for my son's birthday, normally his birthday will almost always end up falling on a school day. So we do donuts for breakfast, and I just kind of build like a donut cake with one donut per year of his age. This was from 2020, so I had made, stacked up 9 different donuts and taken his picture at breakfast time with that. So I did not have any like pre-made donut embellishments. I didn't have any donut pattern paper. So I kind of just had to do DIY for everything. I took a wood grain pattern paper from my mind's eye and sprinkled some Lawn Fawn, I want to say it's Stardust. I can't remember the name of it. I'll drop a link below where you guys can find it. It just kind of makes like a glittery, shimmery splatter. And I wanted it to kind of not mimic or just kind of give you the feel of some of the coating that's on donuts. The larger size donuts, I 6x patterns, mostly like B-sides, tone on tone. I used just some donuts, and these were all cut with a couple different cup files from the Silhouette Studio online store. And then I had recently purchased a like tiny thin metal die for like a manual die cutter that makes little donuts, and you'll see me cutting those out here in a little bit. That one, let me see, I have it right here. That one is, it's called Whittle with a W, Whittle Donut, and it's from Poppy. I don't know if this is Poppy Stamps, I guess. I got it from Simon Says Stamp. Basically, I just did like a search for any kind of donut themed things on their site and came across that. And because it's so small, I want to say it was like $5 or $6. And I knew that because this is something that we do every year, that I was going to get some use out of it. Clearly you can see that my paper, something at some point spilled on it. I have no idea what that is. I am going to just strategically place my photos and this large donut to hide that. I'm definitely glad that I did pick a subtle pattern for my background. I think that just kind of, I don't know, I like the way it looks. Typically I'll just do like a white cardstock, but for this one I really wanted like any stitching that I did on the background, I really wanted it to be more visible. And white stitching on white cardstock, while I love the look and it gives like good texture, I really wanted to be able to see it. So I had actually arranged everything in Silhouette Studio, even colored everything the way I wanted it, and that just helps me. So off to the left, I actually have that screen open on my computer, and it just helps me kind of remember how I had planned everything, because that's how I figure out what size I want to cut things, how many do I want to have, what colors do I kind of want to spread out, that kind of a thing. So I pretty much just started with all of these large ones, and they all just kind of have like a little bit of ATG on the back of them. They're not well secured to the layout. This is that small little die from Poppy Stamps. It is like the donut layer and the frosting layer, they're all one piece. So what I did was I just kind of placed just the side that I needed to cut along the edge of like scrap paper so that I wasn't kind of wasting paper cutting both pieces when I didn't need both pieces in that color. And then I used a lot of the same 6x6 and 6x8 pattern papers that I used for the larger size donuts. I just kind of grabbed the scraps from that to make like the frosting layers for the little donut. And I am gonna warn you guys that unfortunately, I don't remember if I just didn't record some of the last few clips at the end of the video or if I can't figure out where I saved them. But when we get to the end, I might have to just kind of verbally explain some of the things that I did do. This layout, I pulled out two of my favorite alphabet dies from Scrapbook.com, and I'm going to use those to make my own title. Here is where I was going through and figuring out where did I want to put some stitching. So I did some stitched lines around the outside of some of the big donuts, on the inside of some of the big donuts, and I just kind of, I don't know, randomly picked like where I wanted to put it and just tried to make it spread out and have that element of stitching kind of spread out in a way that I liked the look of it. My main problem, it's not really a problem, but I guess the reason that this layout took me, 3 or 4 days to complete was pretty much, I could have kept finding things to add. I could have kept adding more stitching. I could have kept adding more like tiny embellishments, which you'll see later. I could have kept going on and on and on and on. But I felt like at some point I had to stop so that I could move on to number 2, that I could move on to some other deadlines that I have. But I think it was just the fact that the donuts are just a really fun element. There's a lot of color going on. It was super easy to keep adding. And sometimes that like urge to do too much kind of creeps up and you have to be like, no. So here's the die cut letters that I was talking about. The birthday is cut with the skinny font from scrapbook.com. Donuts is cut with their like thicker font. I did all of the letters with 3 layers of a white just scrap cardstock. It's probably like 80 pounds. I actually buy one from Walmart that I really like for stuff like that. And then I do a 4th layer with whatever like color pattern paper that I want to have. So like donuts I cut out with one of the Doodlebug like B-sides that I had already cut some donuts out of. And then I had pulled these little die cuts from a Simple Stories birthday line, which was where I got some of the papers from. So I just picked a couple that were, I would say, birthday neutral. A lot of that die cut pack has things like gears, which while they are circles, to me, gears and donuts just kind of didn't make sense together. So I just picked like a party hat. I picked the balloons that was HBD, and then like a solitary balloon just to kind of break up all of the donuts and have just like a little bit of something extra kind of popping in here and there. For the top layer of the birthday letters, I have some glitter cardstock, which I showed this in my prep video. I'm pretty sure it's Memory Box. And this stuff is super thick. Yes, it's Memory Box. You get 24 sheets. So basically it's 12 colors, 2 sheets of each. And this one is the Twinkling Jewel glitter pad. And the photos of it, I thought that they were going to be lighter. These are actually very jewel toned. So I think I might go back on there and see if they have like a pastel version. Because I kind of wanted to make more donuts in like this glitter paper, but the colors didn't match, so I just stuck to the yellow. I did the yellow paper for the birthday title, and I did like 3 donuts with that same glitter paper again, just to kind of break up all the different pattern papers in the donuts. And I know some people don't like to stack their die cuts. They don't like to glue all this stuff together. There are adhesive backed like sheets that you can cut with. I like my Nuvo glue. I like sitting here. I find it relaxing. If I can't get to the computer to be, cutting donuts or typing my journaling, I'll take a break and sit there and die cut a bunch of stuff and glue it together. To me, I find that relaxing. Now, some of the clips that I could not find, I bought a confetti die from Mama Elephant that is 2 sizes of stars, but instead of only 2 dies, there's how many does this thing cut? So I'll post a link below too. It's called Lots of Stars, and I want to say it was like $3 or $4. 1, 2, 3. You get 10 of the larger star and 10 of the smaller star all in one pass. So I just kind of did like I did with the Lawn Fawn hearts and cut a ton of them. I did 3 layers of white, and then I waited and did different colors for the top. So like you can see them over on the left. I used some scraps of the glitter yellow that I was using. I pulled out some like chrome looking paper that I had in my scraps as well. And then I took a bunch of the different pattern paper colors from the donuts and did some in different colors too. And I probably have 25 to 30 of these little stars on my layout. And like I was saying, I could have kept going. It wouldn't have looked overcrowded. It would have looked well balanced. It would have added more color and more interest. Like I said, I could have kept going, but at some point I had to be like, enough is enough. After I glued the donut letters on, I kept thinking, oh, they need something. Do I really want to stitch through them? Because some of these are 6 layers thick by the time it gets to the background, possibly even 7. So I went ahead and stitched these. I did the same thing on one of the double page layouts from the previous 6x6 class, and I absolutely loved it. It's a lot of work, but again, I don't mind stuff like that. I find it kind of relaxing. And here you can see I was actually like binge watching a bunch of Allison Davis's videos. I feel like I haven't had a lot of time to watch channels that I'm subscribed to. So a lot of times when I'm sitting down and I'm doing something like stitching or die cutting a bunch of stuff and gluing it together, I kind of pick a channel and just binge a bunch of stuff. And on this day, I was going back and watching a bunch of the sketch support videos because I had fallen behind. And yeah, so like I said, I am missing a bunch of clips, but here is my completed layout. I did add a couple like phrase stickers from Bella Boulevard, and I found like a couple little like circle stickers. And then I just have the one little journaling strip. I didn't need any in-depth journaling, just kind of wanted to explain our tradition with the donuts. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I am hoping to be back in a couple days with sketch number 2. And until then, thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you guys later.